Okay, so Trump's worst case scenario just happened. For all of you that do not know, cryptocurrencies and the stock market, really, the past couple of weeks have mostly been influenced by Trump's tariffs talk. And like I just said, something has just happened in that regard that might change everything. And if you're wondering, maybe you're hearing a sound, it's the chef actually preparing some nice eggs or some other meal of sorts. Anyway, as it currently stands, gold just crossed above $3,500 an ounce for the first time in history. Actually pretty crazy to consider that it's up more than 50% in just 12 months. It makes you realize people are afraid of something, right? They're buying gold because they are afraid. But what we were talking about in yesterday's video with regards to this inverse head and shoulders pattern has actually progressed quite nicely for Bitcoin's price, as right now Bitcoin is at $88.5 thousand. And what we described earlier within the marks of, well, this bull market basically is about 2/3 done, if not slightly more. We've got a few months left of crazy gains. And really, if you consider back in the previous cycles, the craziest gains of the bull market obviously happened most towards the end. So as of this point still, all my trading strategies still work for the most part. And what I mean with that is, if you're buying at these prices, you will still most likely be able to sell it for a significant amount more in the next few months. But let's dive into what exactly happened with Trump and make sure, guys, that you press that like button, because if we get to 1,000 likes on this video, I'll give away $50 to somebody in the comment section. If we get to 1,200 likes, I'll give away $100. If we get to 1,500 likes, I'll give her like $500. Why not? So I'll tell you real quick that Trump has basically stated over the past few hours that, or days really, that tariff negotiations are going really well. President Trump says tariffs are going well and everybody wants to negotiate. Now, that on its own is not really an untrue statement. It just becomes kind of untrue if you consider China. But then again, something changed today, and that is now that about $2.5 trillion has been erased throughout the last about 2 weeks or so, and things are potentially getting worse because even though the 90-day pause came, right, with no tariffs, apparently countries like Japan now don't want to budge no more. While markets await trade deals, Japan just said they won't keep conceding in U.S. tariffs talks. On April 16th, Bloomberg published the below article, claiming that trade negotiations with Japan are underway. Guys, by the way, I'll also open a new trade in this video. I'll show you guys my strategy. I'll show you guys my thoughts. It's going to be really interesting. And it's going to happen over on Pioneex. If you've not got an account on this exchange yet, I highly recommend you to do so with the link in the description down below, as otherwise you cannot use these strategies if you don't use that link. You'll also get yourself a nice bonus for signing up. Again, link is down below, and we'll be placing a trade specifically on that platform. So if you want to, you can copy along just one-to-one. And I'll talk about it more in another video coming out later today about how exactly I'm going to log everything. And I think it'll be a very profitable journey. But to continue on, right? Trump administration officials claimed trade deals were being discussed with 50+ countries. Markets rallied sharply on this news over the last 5 to 10 days. The US and Japan kicked off tariff negotiations with an aim to reach a deal as soon as possible, but did not discuss currency issues. Japan's top negotiator, Ryose Akazawa said. Akazawa met with U.S. President Donald Trump before holding trade talks with U.S. Treasury Scott Bessent and Trade Representative Jamieson Greer to seek a reprieve from the Trump administration's tariffs. Below is a timeline of the events, though. We are now on the 12th day of the 90-day tariff pause, and no trade deals have actually been announced just quite yet. As seen below, the market has already priced in at least partial trade deals. However, it's been nearly 2 weeks without a single one of them. So once the pause was announced, we saw a pretty interesting spike. The S&P topped at nearly 5,500, slowly but surely came back down as the trade deal headlines with Japan emerged. Actually, I guess, I'm not sure if they're talking about this little move downwards, actually the spike upwards. Oh, this is a trade deal, right? Or at least the potential of that. And later on, China issues a warning not to cooperate with the U.S. Yeah, so what happened in that regard, by the way? Oh, it's actually here. Last night, China escalated the U.S. trade war once again. China warned that countries who cooperate with the U.S. in ways that compromise their interests will be retaliated against. This effectively means countries must pick between the U.S. and China when conducting trade. Then, after 5+ days of Japan trade deal headlines, this news came out this morning. Bloomberg reported that Japan's prime minister said Japan won't keep conceding in U.S. tariff talks. If Japan concedes everything, we won't be able to secure our national interest, Ishaba said. And yeah, I mean, I kind of get that. The reality is that stocks rallied over 10% from their recent lows on the basis of one catalyst. Trade deals will be reached. It is becoming increasingly clear, though, that trade deals will take time. Just now, Mexico's president said a deal was not reached in talks with Trump today. On top of this, Trump continues to publicly attack Fed Chair Powell. President Trump calls for preemptive cuts and claims there is virtually no inflation. Trump is now calling Fed Chair Powell Mr. Too Late, and gold and Bitcoin are reacting to this by going up in price. Gold and Bitcoin are now aligning for the first time in months. Since April 7th, gold is up over 15%, while Bitcoin is up over 12%. Now, why is this happening? Markets are pricing in US dollar weakness and more instability. Bonds are no longer a preferred safe haven. And even more unsettling for markets was President Trump's non-tariff cheating list posted yesterday. The first form of non-tariff cheating is currency manipulation. Trump is effectively accusing countries of currency manipulation, which sent gold prices even higher. So to sum it all up, these are the little summary. 78 days remaining in the tariff pause. No trade deal with Japan or Mexico, even though it was expected for Japan. Uncertainty over Fed policy. The weakening US dollar with rising yields, Trump targeting a non-tariff cheating list, I guess. China isolating their trade partners, making them choose between the US and China, and the markets are failing as a result. And I mean, we can see some confidence shift in the USD. Things are not doing well in that regard. And people are now questioning whether or not a trade deal will come at all, which, like I just stated, caused gold prices to skyrocket. And even though we originally said that gold usually tops out and then Bitcoin tops out after, right now I'm mostly looking at the Bitcoin charts really over time. That just showcase that we still most likely have got our craziest time for coins ahead of us. The top most likely is in somewhere between August, September of this year to January of next year. And I've said a long time ago that I think the best way to make profit in the bull cycle is to take a percentage profit of your portfolio every day or so. I said that 2025, the start, take 1% profit every single day. And I went against my own advice and I said, you know what? I still think we're going to top out August to January. And I still kind of think so. And so now it's kind of getting to that point where either we now have to accept we were wrong and things start going down from here on forward and we should have just gone with strategy number one, or really whatever we thought before was still most likely correct. It could have been a good idea to sell 1% of the portfolio every single day starting day one of 2025. But in hindsight then, it could have also been better to just wait it out, see the real spike, the real momentum, most likely caused by the tariff deals, for example, not going through and gold just skyrocketing like crazy. And then once gold starts to fall a little bit and it disaligns, I guess, from Bitcoin, which right now is aligned, that Bitcoin then goes for that rally. And now in a video that you have not seen yet, I opened a new trade. I basically opened a new bot over on Pioneex. It's very, very simple. Again, like I said, a link is down below also for you guys to just copy this bot. But today I want to quickly open up a new bot, a Bitcoin one, and also let you guys be able to copy along with this strategy. So again, if you want a full breakdown of what I've been doing here, check out a video that's coming out in a few hours where I'll be diving down into exactly why I opened this XRP trade, what my thought process behind that was, why I did it, and how I'm going to be tracking everything. Today, I'll just be opening another Bitcoin trade and let you guys have a link down below to copy along with exactly how it's going to go. So basically, I want to make a new trading bot that's going to buy every single time prices go down and sell as prices go up. Again, I'll be explaining more later. I, for that, have thought of the range. I think about 60,000 to 140,000, somewhere in the midst of that most likely seems solid. And so as it currently stands, I'm just setting up a new bot for about $3,000. Let's just create it over here. There we go. Very loud ding. We've made ourselves yet another bot. Let me quickly add, actually. In this case here, I pressed a button that decides how much is going to act as extra margin and how much is actual investment. I think that for right now, an estimated liquidation price of $7,000 though is a bit too beautiful. I think we can actually add some more investment and this will still be fine. So I just added a bit of money so that the actual investment here is now $3,500. I still think I should actually be upping this a little bit throughout the day, but basically what the idea with this bot is going to be is I put a couple $1,000s into it now, right? It'll basically wait for prices to fall down lower all the way until, again, one of my basically lowest parts here at 58,000 or something like that. And then as prices come back up, it decides to sell with our last of the range basically being 140,000. Now, I've just set it up here together with y'all just to show you, hey, I'm starting it here today on the 22nd of April. I actually might do another video in the evening going more over exactly why I opened these bots and maybe open yet one or two more, either on some different altcoins or just with some slightly different strategies. But again, I'll be logging everything in a sheet as well, exactly how much money I put into it, at what price I opened it, and what the ranges were, and how many grids, etc. And then over the next few months, as I'll be updating this every single day, I'll do an update on these bots every single day. You'll most likely see me make hundreds of thousands of dollars with these, as again, right now, I only put $15,000 into my account, but I think I'll put a significant amount more into it and then actually show you guys how we're going to turn, for example, $100,000 into $1 million or something along those lines. And getting back to exactly why I am opening all this, to be honest, it would also be probably a good idea at this point to add a short spot to it to do exactly the opposite, because as it currently stands, we are facing a very interesting 200 moving average potential resistance. But from most of the macro angles and the fact that right now we are copying gold almost 1-to-1, and with all these uncertainties and Trump's worst nightmare basically coming out, that's why I'm right now thinking it might be a okay idea to basically say, hey, you know what? Things on the macro are looking so primed. But even just looking at gold, just look at that. Just look at how exponential and how crazy this price has gone over the past few days. Really, I guess, once you look at it like this, ever since these trade deals fell apart, or as this tariff pause was announced, it's just started to skyrocket, as I guess people do not believe Trump will come to any sort of deal. I will state that right now buying or getting a bot open, it's not optimal pricing, rather. We're buying at a pretty high point, but I think it's also nice here to prove a point of, even at this price, even buying at a point where the moving average comes to a very, very interesting resistance, we're buying it mostly for the sake of, even if the price starts coming down pretty hard here, our bot is going to buy aggressively as prices go down, and as we expect, as it currently stands, for Bitcoin to do pretty well over the near short term, it's going to be able to sell for a pretty juicy amount of profit. All it takes is a bit of patience, a bit of courage, and again, I'll be logging everything. So if you guys are interested in seeing the results over time, just stop by every now and then. I'll be updating this sheet every single day. I'll share it with you guys shortly, and I'll be doing an update on exactly how our bots are doing every single day as well. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting journey. I think it could actually take away some margin here, as the estimated liquidation price is way too low. It's not necessary to be at that point. As long as this is like 50K or so, we should actually be fine. So we could take more from this margin and put it into the investment. I've actually decided to do that, take a little bit of money out of the margin and add more. So right now, the investment for Bitcoin is $5,000, and for XRP is just a measly $3,000. But I think it's solid as a good start. So I'm going to update the sheet as well to make sure it says $5,000 is what we started with here, $3,000 for XRP. And I'll update you guys as we go along. And again, if you enjoyed these daily crypto updates, daily crypto videos, make sure you press that like button. If you want to copy along with this bot exactly, you can find the links to Pioneex down below. Make sure you use this first link for making an account. And I'm saying this on purpose, kind of emphasizingly, because if you do it the wrong way, you might not be able to join, so do it this way. Make sure you get yourself an account with the first link down below. Then if you want to follow along with the bot, there's a second link down below, right there. Just click that link. Now, there will also be a third link, which most likely will be to claim yourself a bonus. If I was you, I'd do it like this. Open link number 1, get yourself an account, register everything, right? Proper. If you do not use the link down below, you will not be able to join any of my strategies, and you will not be able to claim yourself any of the campaigns and bonuses. Then, as a step number 2, click the link down below to claim yourself a bonus. Now, there are 2 different bonuses you can get. If you want to verify yourself, KYC, you can get a $30 bonus. But more importantly, there's a deposit bonus, meaning the more money you put in, it's actually quite low, the limit. But if you put in a couple $1,000s, you actually get an $800 reward. So pretty interesting. Again, you can use this to insert into the bots. And the thing is, this really changes a lot. Meaning, if you put 5,000 in, you get $800 for free. It's a pretty good return just straight out the bat, because it's free money you can use for the bot. So just again, link is down below for that. And then as a last step, click the link down below to copy the bot. It'll basically look like this, but if you've got yourself an account and you claim yourselves the bonus, all you got to do is just press copy the bot, insert exactly how much money you want to put into it, and that's it. It's very, very simple, very straightforward. Like I said, links will be down below for that, and I'll be updating on this every single day from now on. I just wanted to kind of mark the start here of the entire journey, but yeah, I think it's going to be really, really cool. Make sure you press that like button if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video somewhere later today.